Frame rate is the term we use to define the number of separate images or frames that are displayed over a given period of time, usually a second. Standard definition PAL video, the most common system across the UK and most of Europe, has a frame rate of 25 frames per second. This means that there are 25 images displayed sequentially for every second of video. Clearly, this is a factor we need to consider when calculating the bandwidth required to transmit video or the space to store it. Working on the PAL system, the amount of information produced over 1 second will be 25 times as much as for each individual frame. There'll be 60 times 25 images for each minute of video, 15,000 images for each 10 minutes. It's easy to see how the volume of data risks exceeding the available video bandwidth and storage capacity. If we lower the frame rate, we can significantly reduce the amount of bandwidth and storage needed. Obviously though, this saving comes at the cost of reducing the number of frames available to depict each scene. One of the problems with this approach is that fast activity may be missed by an observer. Here, when the frame rate is decreased, the camera doesn't capture the person leaving the scene. When the frame rate is increased again, this potentially significant piece of action is caught on camera. But sometimes we don't need as many as 25 frames per second to fulfill the operational requirement. The requirement here is for a camera view to allow an observer to monitor the amount of traffic on this stretch of road. Displaying the video at 1 frame per second allows the observer to monitor the volume of traffic accurately, so there's no need for a faster frame rate. A point to bear in mind though is that observers often report discomfort when viewing video at frame rates below 10 frames per second. We have to balance storage and bandwidth requirements with the acceptability of the final video product and with the expectations of the observers. When producing an operational requirement, it's important to understand the purpose of each camera view and therefore the minimum acceptable frame rate required. The question you need to ask is, are there enough frames per second to allow the observers to fulfill the operational requirement?